For anyone growing up in the 1990s, the battle lines were straightforward. You were either a Coke household or a Pepsi household. Today, that rivalry has moved inward. The fiercest blood feud in the beverage world is happening entirely inside the Coca-Cola extended universe, pitting Diet Coke loyalists against Coke Zero sugar defenders. The division is intense enough that consumers are actively crossing enemy lines. Hardcore Coke Zero fans often reach for a Pepsi Zero before they let a Diet Coke pass their lips, while some Diet Coke purists have been caught smuggling their own personal supply in their luggage to international markets where Coke Zero is the default. Since 2006, Diet Coke sales have largely flatlined. Compare that to Coke Zero, which spiked by 10% in 2024, passing its older sibling and accounting for 52% of overall soft drink growth last year. We have two zero-calorie sodas, sitting on the same shelf, manufactured by the same company. Yet, consumers treat them as mutually exclusive ideologies. To understand why, we have to look at what each can represents. Diet Coke was engineered with a specific, aggressive profile. It features a sharp, slightly metallic taste and a heavy hit of caffeine. Unlike most diet drinks, the company never actually designed it to taste like regular Coca-Cola. Instead, it was built into a pop culture icon in the 1980s, fueled by massive endorsements from stars like Paula Abdul. It became a fixture in the hands of the decade's biggest musicians, including Whitney Houston. That association expanded into high fashion and elite society, eventually releasing limited edition cans to coincide with sequels to The Devil Wears Prada, alongside actors like Demi Moore. This status-heavy appeal stuck. Warren Buffett is such a devotee that he created his own recipe for a dusty Diet Coke, mixing the soda with vanilla ice cream, chocolate syrup, and malted milk powder. He even achieved a sort of ultimate institutional power. During his administration, Donald Trump famously kept a dedicated button on the Resolute desk, specifically to summon fresh Diet Cokes to the Oval Office. Diet Coke represents an unapologetic urban media lifestyle. Gen Z has dubbed it the fridge cigarette, a high-caffeine aesthetic choice for people who want the jitters without the fumes. Coke Zero takes the opposite approach. The brand is 21 years old, but it only reached dominance recently by completely abandoning the concept of a diet flavor. In 2017, the company changed the recipe to create a simulacrum, an engineered copy. They designed Coke Zero to mimic the specific mouthfeel and flavor notes of full-sugar Coca-Cola as closely as possible. They dropped the word diet to court male consumers, pitching Coke Zero as the default pairing for mainstream events like barbecues and baseball games. Wharton marketing professor Americus Reed analyzes this divide. Despite these beverages being calorically identical, they occupy completely different psychological territories in the consumer's mind. You buy Diet Coke for its own standalone aesthetic. You buy Coke Zero as a guilt-free substitute for the original product. This internal civil war isn't a disaster for Coca-Cola. It is their corporate salvation. The soft drink industry is competing against a growing list of alternatives. Store shelves are crowded with high-caffeine energy drinks, flavored seltzers, and better-for-you sodas promising improved gut health. This bar chart shows how Coca-Cola is maintaining its position. The zero-sugar soda category is expanding rapidly. By offering two highly distinct zero-calorie options, they are single-handedly holding the line against seltzers and energy drinks. But the guard is changing. While Diet Coke remains the default choice at U.S. fountain dispensers, this is largely driven by muscle memory. Coke Zero's explosive growth is actively threatening to overwrite those decades of habit. Coca-Cola's data shows that about 10% of consumers claim they will happily drink both. But even within this nonpartisan group, intense biases remain regarding which soda is the true number one. The 50-year shift from a choice between Coke and Pepsi to a rivalry over specific recipe molecules demonstrates how consumption has become a form of communication. We select brands to broadcast a specific cultural identity to the world.